Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope we meet you well. Okay, let's have our turn, that is to say the turn of our viewers to also weigh in on the subject matter that's been out there a few days now, about a week. I'm talking about the federal government's decision to ban from next year under-18 secondary school students from sitting for the West African School Certificates examination and that of the National Council of Education. Well, this decision has been met with, I don't know if it's curiosity, but widespread shock. Even condemnation by the Nigerian Union of Teachers, for example, as well as students, not to talk even of the widespread public. Well, to look at this whole matter and also take your input on the matter, our guest this morning is Dr. Sylvester Enome. Dr. Sylvester Enome is an educational management consultant. He's former director of education in the Lagos State Ministry of Education District 5. So a fine morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you very much for coming on the program. There's been much ado about this subject matter. A lot of commentary has gone on it. A lot of people, you know, just to set the scene, so to speak, just to set the scene, the minister, the Honorable Minister, Professor of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, he's explained that really there's nothing new here. And his explanation is that if you spend the required number of years in each stage of the educational system from before now, you're going to be 17 and a half by the time you're ready for a university. But the way it is being spoken about now, the minister lamented when I saw him on television, it's as if something new has been brought about. Well, there still are areas that we can talk about. For instance, this doesn't take care of gifted students, talented students, but the minister is saying that the new policy is that you must have a certain number of years traversing primary school, then junior secondary, senior secondary, before you end up in university at 17 and a half. As an educationist yourself, can you fathom a guess as to what this is all about? Because there are people who have been harsh in their criticism and have asked, is the Federal Ministry of Education not busy? Doesn't it have useful things to do? Has been a harsh criticism that I have heard.
Yes, good morning once more.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to be with you again.
Thank you.
Professor Tahir Mama, the Minister of Education, I really believe that pegging the age at 18 for WAEC and NECO is very necessary. But then, I think the implementation is what people are a bit not very skeptical about.
Yes.
You see,
because he made that point that it's always been this way.
Yes.
If you look at the system, this 63-4 education system,
yes,
you end up, when you don't repeat any class, at 17 and a half, whereupon you're just ready for the entry into university at 18.
Yeah, if you say it has always been this way, but there have been no blanket policy about that 18 years of age. For example, we have 6334 system of education.
Yes.
That's 6 years in primary school, 6 years in junior school, 6 years in senior secondary school. Fine, that will be 12.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it depends on when that particular child comes up, enter the primary school. That child could be...
He's supposed to enter at 6.
6.
Yes.
Then if he enters at 6, definitely it's getting to that 17 plus 18.
Yes.
Fine. But,
enter at 6.
But what people are really agitating concerning this issue is that, one, there are fast learners and there are slow learners. The fast learners can grab anything immediately and put it into action. While the slow learner, they will continue to be guided. Mm-hmm. And by guiding them, you will see what the fast learner have gotten so many weeks ago, they are still trying to come to reality with it.
Yeah.
You see, if the Professor Tahir, our Minister for Education, said it has been on ground, fine. But this aspect of making it 18 years to write WAEC and NECO, that is what is the problem. There are some people who wrote WAEC and NECO at 15, 16, and they did very well. They entered the university and they came out, some of them came out with first class and the rest.
Yes.
The fact there is that restricting them, that is where the problem is. It has been there, fine, but there is this flexibility. You can write your WAEC before 16, 17. Some people even wrote their WAEC at 20-something years. Some wrote at 29, because WAEC, they have private WAEC now and school WAEC. So those for school, there is age limit to it. So this aspect of that 18 is what people are talking about. Before I go ahead, let me quickly say one thing. Everybody cannot move at the same pace. There is this aspect of people who, when they get there, they move. That is why we have different domains of education. We have the cognitive domain. We have the affective domain. We have the psychomotor domain. The fact is that if you cannot fit into the intellectual aspect of it, you can fit into the psychomotor. And luckily, the federal government is really doing much thing about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It's not compulsory that that aspect of putting 18 years, and which of course it has equally gotten to JAMB now.
Yes.
You must be 18 before you write JAMB.
Yes.
Is these policies not trying to slow down those smart people?
Well, indeed, yes. But consider this. Might they think that this policy is so that we don't have, quote-unquote, underage students ending up in university, where because a person is gifted, he arguably could satisfy all the requirements by the age of 14 or 15. And there have been such examples in the past. There are so many Nigerians who entered school early, who entered university early. And as you said, I think you said so today, went on to make a success of it. But can it be, is there any merit to this matter about we don't want people ending up in university too young, ending up in university at, maybe to exaggerate slightly, 14, 15?
In that case, what I think we have to do is let us start with the age of entering primary school.
But okay, but because the minister said when and you must have heard him too, that it's not primarily about age of the student. It's about how long students in Nigeria will spend in the school system mandatorily before ending up in university. This seems to be the thrust of the policy, that you must spend 17 and a half years.
Okay, fine. 17 and a half years or so actually is not the remedy. What I would have advocated, or what I want to advocate right now, is let us look at the schools, the educational system itself, in a broader way.
Okay.
Is the academic aspect of is the educational aspect of Nigeria, is the performance okay? Is there accessibility to education? The dropout rate, what is it? Where we have so many millions of dropout rate as a result of one thing or the other, is it not going to slow down the education of the masses? You see, when we start talking about this, somebody could be 16 or 17, get into university, and perform better than somebody that is 20, 29 or so. But then, character-wise, I would say we have to take some factors into consideration.
Okay.
Parental factor.
When you say character-wise?
Character-wise,
maybe
yes. The children entering into the university. Because what ASU and the rest are saying...
If they're more mature when they end up in university...
Yes.
Is it relevant in this particular case?
Maturity in the university actually is not a very high rate of discussion.
Okay.
Because those people who are supposed to be very mature in the university, they are the ones that have the temerity to create problems. Like these younger ones are scared. At least I have taught in all aspects of education, primary, secondary, college of education, even university. You will see that these younger ones, because of the home training which they get, they come to school, my father must not hear this. They are calm and quiet. But these bigger ones with muzzle will say, nothing happens. So it is little to the left and little to the right. But this blanket 18 years, this 18 years is going to affect so many people. And if it must work, the private school owners.
That is, it's going to affect so many younger students.
Yes, so many.
That will now have to
wait till 18.
Wait till 18.
And when they enter the university, which is supposed to be 4 years, at times they end up spending 7 years because of ASU strike, 6 years. All those things should have been placed into consideration before coming out to say this is. It's a good idea because everything have intent and purpose.
Yes.
But why not bring all the stakeholders and let them discuss this thing?
Exactly. But as the minister said, it's not about the age per se, but about whether you have spent a stipulated number of years in Nigeria's 6334 education system. And if you have done that, and if your parents started you out at the right time, at the age of 6, you will be 17 and a half when that, when you are about to enter university, if you didn't have any go slow, no repeat or anything. But people are wondering, what has brought this about? And they are implying that it's hardly a concern. And it's hardly a concern of government. Some have even said that it's not the place of government to be putting these strictures. I don't know how you feel about that.
Actually, government, because they are involved in education, they should regulate most of the policies. But
they say it should be subnational.
Yes, it should be
subnational governments, not the federal government.
You see, let me quickly say this. If you look at the curriculum itself, that is where I had expected the Federal Ministry of Education to work on the curriculum. At least I attended this National Council of Education at Ikeja late last year. Let them work on the curriculum. If the curriculum is properly taken care of, there will be no problem. There will be no problem. Look, if we say, okay, the 18 years, this, that is not the issue. The Federal Ministry of Education should focus more on what will benefit the populace than that 18 years. Though the idea may be good.
Oh, they said students this year are good. It won't start this year.
It's a testing.
Yeah, so those students that are, are not yet of that age can still get admitted by JAM. But they say from next year, JAM will not allow students who are not of the appropriate age.
You see, if we have to look at what is happening outside, which of course Nigeria will always say, I want to look at education in UK, education in America, education in this, education in that, you will see that in all the universities in UK, each university are given the opportunity to set their standards in case of age. There is no age limit in entering any of the universities in UK.
Okay.
I will give you an example. There is a smart family, though they are Nigerians. Mr. Chris Imafidon and Mrs. Anne Imafidon.
That's right.
They call them the smart family in UK because the children are gifted.
They are.
Somebody, for example, like the twins, they call them the wonderful twins, Peter and Paula Imafidon. Imagine them scattering mathematical equation at 9, getting their A-levels at 9 years. And not only that, they are good in all aspects. If those people were in Nigeria, they would have been highly limited with this policy.
Indeed.
And they would have been highly...
America is another example of child prodigies who are entering university at the age of 11, 12, simply because they are gifted.
Look at their elder sister, Samantha. The same thing. Samantha got it even before these people. And she mentored them. Today they are following Samantha educational policy.
Now you see this
in UK, and some other investors are buying into it. How old is she? The fact that age actually should not be curtailed. Age should not be curtailed. I don't want to give some example. You get what of those in the villages?
Even we in Nigeria here, the names elude me now, but we have had, you know, these gifted children,
yes,
who, you know, have done wondrous things with the exam at an early age.
You see, I don't want to say, sir, that I don't want to say it's like we are going back to the ancient regime where we were using our hand to get to the ear. When you get to the ear, before you enter the primary school, if you are retarded, somebody who is not growing well, and your hand couldn't get there, you are not allowed to enter the primary school those days. That era really makes so many people, like the dwarf and the rest, who were 20-something years, they couldn't enter the primary school. We should look at what is good in other countries and implement it. But let me quickly ask this question. If we all now follow this policy, what are the children of the elites? What are the children of the political class who are not in Nigeria? They are schooling abroad.
Okay.
They are in Dubai, they are in United Kingdom, they are in US, they are in all over the world, Australia and the rest, Finland.
They probably are.
The age is not affecting them. When they finish their education there, they will come back. These people that have been seriously placed in a place based on age, they will come and rule over them too. Because we should be germane in our policies. The Honorable Minister of Education is an intelligent person, highly intellectual, because you cannot be a professor just like that. Though some of us who are PhD holder, our junior ones and the rest have been professors for years, based on where you find yourself, where you are. But then let us take those good things.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. In fact, Sweden is one such country, and Alhaji Kasim is calling from Sweden. Good morning, Alhaji.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Alhaji, in Sweden.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Yes, I just want to contribute. I want to like Mr. Ayori to take note of something, and doctor.
Okay, we can hear you, sir. Alhaji Kasim, we can hear you. Please go ahead and contribute.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm using this opportunity to beg in Nigeria to allow this.
It's low, but maybe they'll help us upstairs.
We should forget about looking at the USA or UK. I want the doctor himself to go and make a research and look at north of Europe. The best education now in the world is in England, right? And they are using the age.
Alhaji, one moment, please. We can't hear you. We're going to need to adjust the level. We can't hear you, but we know that you are speaking. Try again, please, Alhaji Kasim. Please start again.
Now? Can you hear me now?
Well, only slightly, but go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
So I'm just trying to appeal to Nigeria to allow the government, to stand with this policy. Please. 18 years is a perfect age. At least we should look after the board. We should forget about the UK or USA. We should look at another country in Europe, like north of Europe now. The best education system in the world now, I'm talking now, is in Finland, right? And they are using this age system. Okay, supposing if there's one child which is dot in ocean, that's brilliant, they should have another channel to take care of them. It's just 1 in 100. How many of them we have in Nigeria? Or for not this billion we have in Nigeria. Where are we today in Nigeria? Where are we? It's not by learning grammar. It's not by going to university alone the country develop. They should come and look at the way the something functions in north of Europe. Out of 1 million students that finish college in a year, maybe just 250 that are to university. The rest, vocational education and trading, and their country is developed. So we should forget about this. My child is finished at 15. My son is finished university at 15, at 18. It will work in Africa. And to oppress each other, which is not good.
Okay, so Alhaji Kasim, if I understand you, you are actually in support of that policy. You're saying there's no need to hurry, to rush the children. Did I get you right?
No, I couldn't hear you properly. This network is. I'm just appealing to begging people. Let allow these government policies to stand, please.
Okay. Yes, I did get you right. Thank you very much for calling in, Alhaji. I'm sure we'll actually hear some different perspectives today.
Yes, yes.
Alhaji in Sweden has said that, what's the big rush? But the one issue, so that let the policy stand, even though it isn't about to launch now, it is from next year that JAM will not allow, JAM and NECO will not allow students to.
Well, we couldn't hear him very well, Alhaji Kazim,
yes.
And also there was no way of asking him questions. You see, in Sweden, the same Sweden, anytime you get to any higher institution, you are admitted.
Anytime.
Anytime. So he would have added that one to it. Anytime you get there, you are admitted. They don't believe in maybe you're supposed to start on the 1st of June or this. When you get there, you are eligible, you are admitted. The enabling environment is what matters most now. The enabling environment. When you look at, if the Federal Ministry of Education can really work on the enabling environment for this issue, nobody is totally against it. Nobody is against it, but it should have been made to be flexible.
People should have been able to discuss it.
Yes, they should discuss it with stakeholders, and it would have been made to be flexible. Right now, there are some universities where some months you can't get any light. No water supply.
Yes.
So I would have expected the Federal Ministry to look at this enabling environment, let them see how they put in place mechanisms to make all these things work. And if it works thoroughly, there is no problem. Nobody will be. ASU own will soon come, though ASU really supported this 18 years of thing. They said universities are made for mature people.
Yes.
Fine. Actually, maturity matters a lot in education. But then, what of the few ones who have the opportunity, who are intelligent?
And I think that's what...
That is just where I am having problem. Not that federal government, as far as they are involved in education, they can set the whatever precedent or whatever the policy.
Okay.
But let our education be made accessible. Mm-hmm. Let the curriculum be, in short, pan-ebitted to suit the situation on ground. Let me use that word, pan-ebitted.
I hear you.
To suit the situation on ground.
Alhaji Kazim, he had the idea for, especially gifted children. Maybe you set up different institutions for them, because oftentimes these geniuses, they require specialist teachers as well.
Yes.
Yes, they are highly gifted, they arrived ready-made apparently, but they must be managed so that you can get the best out of them. Mr. Yakub, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for holding on. Go ahead now.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
For me, I totally agree with the doctor. If the federal government or Ministry of Education, they should be able to look into this thing second time. You know why? Why? Because it's said that if the child is not up to 18 years, he or she cannot sit for WAEC. Why? I can tell you for free, sir. There's some 16 years old. If they sit down with the 18, 20, 21 years old, they will still do better than them. Instead of them deprive all these children, why are they not giving them alternatives? That's number one. Number two, there's something that Dr. Chester said that's so damaging to my mind. Is that, you know what, sir? All these are politicians, the governors, all these people. Their children are not school here in this country. They school outside the country, and then, mostly all of them, they have body. And then when they go outside this country, at the age of 15, and then when they come back, the children of Nigerian citizens that you deprive, they will not come back and begin to rule upon them. Because you already deprived this one, and then when you allow your own children to school abroad, meanwhile, over there, nobody deprive your education because of your age.
Yeah.
How could you be saying that? When the children know what he's doing, you can see, if you see social media, if you see what great things all small children are doing today, you are missing, sir. So how could you be saying that if they are not up to 18 years, they cannot sit for WAEC? Why? Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. Indeed, these are the themes that we've been hearing all week since this policy was announced. That look, at the end of the day, there are those who are privileged, the affluent in society, who will be able to sidestep this and as long as they're operating outside of the country and they don't think that is fair. But as I said, nobody is arguing, you've said that nobody is arguing with what the policy seems to be, which is that spend a stipulated amount of time in the educational system. And if you are a Nigerian student, 6,334 will end you up at 17 and a half when you reach the university.
No, we should not be putting that 4, because that 4 is the university.
Okay, yeah, 633.
Yes.
Yes.
That is, they call it basic 9 now.
Yes.
That's 6 and 3, and then the 3 years in senior secondary.
Exactly.
Some people are naturally deprived already, because they have this opportunity of going to school is not there. That was why when we discussed something on this federal government loan scheme, I was very happy about it. There are some people, some males, who will go and hawk, go and do menial job to be able to pass through secondary school. No father, no mother, and all those kind of stuff. Those ones are naturally above 18 before they write.
That's right.
And that, if you look at it, those people are even more than 20-something%.
And the system, the policy thrust doesn't have anything.
The poverty index already have placed them like that.
Yes, and they are not concerned with that. They seem to be concerned with the lower end of the scale, that the minimum age, it doesn't matter, you're not supposed to start at 11. But let's say you go and start primary school early. Primary school late. They're not arguing about that. But you cannot... The policy seems to be saying you can't start early and then end up too early in university.
Who are the people creating the problem is the elites and the working class people. Immediately a lady gives birth to a child, not up to after the 6 months maternity, she throws the child to a private school.
That's right.
And that child starts.
And everybody's
from there, pre-nursery, nursery, and then there is no way. How are you going to stop that child? Because the father or the mother, they are working somewhere. They are working class ladies, they are working class, and they don't want anything to tie them down. Those children are placed there. Are you not going to stop them because of this age?
Apparently.
So that is the problem.
Apparently.
We should look at it. You see, when we are talking of policy formulation, we should look at all indices. We look at the various alternatives. Then we select the best of those alternatives, and then before we evaluate. After evaluation, before you now say, okay, this is the policy. You don't just come like fire brigade and say, boom, like that. No. This present government means well for education, and I'm very sure of that. But most of these things that will make people to start looking at one side of it should not happen this time around. There are so many things the Federal Ministry of Education need to talk about for now. Though we know there is this test running, they said till next year. Fine, next year is okay. But then, are they putting in the enabling environment for this thing to kickstart without any problem? That is the question. So we're okay.
Let's hear from Dr. Omotayo in Ibadan. Good morning to you, doctor.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, your program is quite educating, and I've been enjoying it.
Thank you.
I want to contribute.
Please.
By the grace of God, I've been an educationist for quite a number of years, close to 40 years now. And I'm surprised at what people are saying, the contributions of different people on this subject matter. My surprise arises from the fact that it seems that we are so used to doing things wrongly that we are now used to cutting corners, even when it comes to education. The law says 6334. Your child should be at least 6 years old before entering primary school, and then he is expected to spend 6 years in primary school, 6 years in secondary school, before entering university. Now add 6 plus 6 plus 6. What do you have? 18 years. That was the hula value about. I've been a lecturer teaching students for about 38 years. Uncle Yori, I have to tell you, if the government doesn't stand on this policy, our education is going to totally collapse. Now, everybody is just saying, referring to some extraordinarily gifted people all over the world. What is their percentage? They are just 1 in a million. And I believe the educational system has making a good preparation for such students.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, we want to tell ourselves that 95% of our children, they are gifted. And all of them should be allowed to go through education, cutting corners, graduating at the age of 16, 17, 18. Let me tell you the story. When I first started as a lecturer way back in the 80s, I remember a very young student. She was 18 years old. She was in the final year, 400 level, and she had a lot of problems coping, not because she wasn't intelligent, but because she could not organize her time to cope with the stress and the demands of the university. Is that what we want for our students? Is that what we want for our children? What is it that is making us to rush these children through education? It's 22 years, too much, too late for students to graduate.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Doctor. Yeah. Appreciate your calling in.
Yes, it's a good contribution.
Colleague of yours.
It's a good contribution.
Colleague.
Yes, he said the gifted are just minimal percentage.
I'll tell you what, so that I wouldn't have to interrupt you. Let's take a break, so you can really explore that thought and continue with taking calls from home. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.